Alpine Touch has been part of the fabric of Montana for more than 60 years. Decades ago, Russell Street started selling his touch of magic in whitefish. Years later, Alpine Touch's all-purpose seasoning remains a favorite. It's tailgating season, and there's no better way to spice up your grill before a Griz game than with Alpine Touch. Go to alpinetouch.com now and use the checkout code ESPN10 for a 10% discount on your order. Alpine Touch is here to keep your mouth watering all football season. Alpine Touch, Montana's special spice.
At Blackfoot Communications, our mission is to connect people, businesses, and communities, bringing a world-class fiber network to homes, communities, and businesses of all sizes. Ensures Montanans have access to fast, reliable, and secure internet and phone services. Are you ready for fiber internet? To find out if fiber is coming to your area, visit goblackfoot.com/readyforfiber. Connect to more with Blackfoot Communications.
Have you or a loved one been charged or accused of a crime? If so, the stress can leave anyone feeling helpless and alone. But you don't have to be alone. Hi, I'm Dave Maldonado, and I've successfully defended Montanans for over a decade in these situations. So if you're tired of being scared, let's get you prepared. To see how, visit BigSkyDefender.com today.
You are not alone. Visit BigSkyDefender.com to find out more on how you can fight back against local and federal criminal charges.
Thanks, Tabes, first of all, for all the hard work. And so, obviously, we're thrilled with getting that win. We're thrilled to be playing for the national championship in a couple of weeks. And, to start with, I want to say congrats to North Dakota State on a great year. I thought they were playing better than anybody in the playoffs. Just what a terrific job. Matt Entz is a fabulous football coach, has had an unbelievable run in Fargo, and just the competition has always been great, whether it's recruiting or on the field. Greatly admire him and the job that he's done. USC is very fortunate to be getting that guy. He'll do big things. And then in terms of the game, I mean, yeah, double overtime probably is how that should finish up. A game like that, both teams fighting their tails off. Obviously, we're ecstatic to get the victory. Probably one of you can't quantify this statement, but it's one of the biggest games and greatest games in the history of our stadium, and it was a pleasure to be a part of it. I mean, just a real privilege to be part of that game. It was two terrific football teams going at it for 4 quarters plus 2 overtimes, and you know, that's about all I got for you.
Question.
Proud of my team.
Braxton, can you take us through your perspective on when you guys got the stop in overtime when Corbin got the pick?
When Corbin got the pick?
Yeah, I guess like the
last
2-point conversion, the last play.
Oh.
I think they counted as a pick. You might have been celebrating already.
Yeah, I mean, I was just relieved, and then people started coming left and right, and I mean, I can't even put it into words, that feeling. I mean, I was just so excited, and it was such a game of up and downs, and, you know, you just got to stay level-headed, and I think we did that as a team, and we finally got a break in overtime, and I mean, it was awesome. I can't even describe it.
And then when the goalposts are coming down, and I mean, to win like that, I mean, how's that feel?
Oh, it feels amazing.
Did the fans get them?
Yeah.
They got him? Awesome. Good
I
for
couldn't
them.
even see him.
Good. I hope they got him. Hope they're downtown.
I mean, I'm all jumbled up in people, whatever. I couldn't tell if they had him, but I mean, I'm glad they have him. So I hope they're at the Mo Club right now.
I hope we get video of him carrying him across the bridge.
For Junior, can you describe the 2-point play, and was it tipped, or what did you kind of see as that developed?
It's a play that we practice every single week. We've called it one time before today, and you know, I told Keelan before the play, I was like, hey, just be alive back there, like make sure you're ready to go back there. And I saw the guy come off the edge, and he grabbed my face mask, and I had looked up and saw Keelan, and I was like, well, it's a free play anyway, so I might as well give it a shot. And I just threw it as hard as I could, and I supposedly got tipped. I couldn't see it. I don't know what happened, and I just heard the crowd go crazy, and I was like, wow, thank you, Jesus.
What a catch.
And this is for Keelan and Junior. Just describe the emotion after NDSU 2-point conversion didn't happen, and people were swarming the field, and just the aftermath.
I mean, just pure relief. Like Coach Hauck said last week, nobody likes playing in overtime. So when you can come out with a win, it's just awesome. So just pure relief and excitement and just feeling blessed, really.
Keelan, to follow up on that 2-point PAT you caught, it was tipped. Can you take me through the play?
Yeah, it was. I saw we made eye contact, and he just chucked it at me. And, yeah, it went over one guy, got tipped, and yeah, just landed in my hands. It was all pure reaction. So.
Junior, last week you talked about somebody was ahead of you on your punt return down the sidelines. Was it the same guy again this time?
No, today it was Rack, and he had a huge block, and his kind of sprung me free, so I appreciate him for that.
Bobby, this is the third Bison game at this stadium. Had pretty amazing drama to it. What is it about these programs when you guys get together here?
Well, I think first of all, it's two really good teams, you know, and you know, I've known all three of those head coaches are friends of mine, and they all have done just a magnificent job. You know, in 2003 when Craig was getting it going, we collaborated a lot on what it needed to look like as they were moving up to FCS, and I probably helped them too much because they became the best team. We like to think at the time we were kind of one of those, and I don't know, it's just two really proud programs that have great long tradition. I mean, when you go to the Fargo Dome and you see how many championships years they have pasted on the wall there, it's phenomenal. I mean, I think people understand, but you know, North Dakota State has been a good football program for 100 years, and you know, we kind of like think we invented it here too a little bit. At least our fans do. So that lends itself to two teams that really battle. It's how it's expected to be played there. It's how it's expected to be played here, and like I said earlier, it's a privilege to be in these games.
Junior, other than Sawyer's block, what else did you see? I mean, can you take us how you got to the sideline and how important it was to get up to the left sideline?
Well, the ball was kind of towards our right side, and we had return left on, and they were kind of fanned out to the field. So I kind of just stopped and cut it up a little bit, and I was going to cut it all the way back, but I was like, nah, just trust it. And thankfully I did, and you know, all those guys got their blocks, and we were able to get out.
Hey, Coach, what can you say about Junior coming up so clutch in the return game the last couple weeks?
Well, Junior's terrific. He's a great football player. He can throw it, he can catch it, and he can run it. And you know, listening to him talk about the 2-point play, it sounds like a quarterback talking about it, not a wide receiver that happens to be getting a chance to throw the ball. So back to your question, he has a real knack for it. In the punt return game in particular, he's very good at it. And again, like he just said, there's guys that had some monster blocks on that play. It doesn't happen without that. Obviously, it's why we've won the last 2 weeks.
Braxton, just from your perspective, just watching him take another punt back and just back-to-back games like this, just walk me through what you were seeing in that play as he gave you guys the lead there.
Oh, yeah, I was fired up, watching it on the TV, and then you kind of see the wall get built or I don't know, whatever, and then you go to the sideline and then you see Junior going on the punter, and, I mean, we're hyped. The place is going crazy, and I don't remember what the score was, but we took the lead by, I think, a touchdown, and it was awesome.
As a senior captain on this
Junior's
team,
made improvements. Last year, one of those big guys got him down.
As a senior captain on this team, Braxton, just describe this feeling. I mean, there hadn't been overtime games here for long, and now it's back-to-back, and you guys are heading the national championship. Just how special is this, and just seeing, the work you guys have put in start to pay off?
Yeah, it means the world to me, and it means the world to everyone on our team and all the coaches, and, we put a lot of work in since August, and, it's a brotherhood inside of that locker room, and I just couldn't be more blessed to be on this team and grateful for our coaches and the guys I get to play with every day.
Bobby, for you, just obviously the last time the Grizzlies went was 2009 when you were the head coach then again. So just what does this mean to you to get these guys back there, especially when you look back at the loss to NAU and you guys have just rolled since then? Just what has this run meant to you?
Well, I mentioned it to Riley on a radio show that this team reminded me of the 2008 team, which I thought was undervalued going into the season, and then lost our first conference game down at Weber State, and then went on a roll and went and played for the national championship. And, there's some things that are really identical to that. I think it's interesting that a lot of former players from those teams and our past couple teams were here today, a lot of them. And I think everybody's fired up for this team because they've got a lot of grit, got a lot of mental and physical toughness, highly competitive, just like all of our Grizzly teams, and this one has found a way to pull out games like that one today.
Coach, maybe talk a little bit about the X's and O's back and forth the game. They obviously like to run a lot of different personnel packages, and you were kind of going with some 4 linebacker stuff there at times, and just the kind of the cat and mouse game of it that way.
Yeah, we gave up 100 yards rushing in the second half, which was kind of more than we'd hoped. But they're good at it. It wasn't a game for the faint of heart. It was tough-minded out there. They do a lot of personnelling. I thought that they did a nice job mixing it. I thought on defense they did a really nice job of matching what we were doing out of our different personnel groups. It was a well coached game by our assistant coaches and their coaching staff, and it was a well played game by both teams.
Braxton, I know you grew up going to games, and there's ones that you're going to always remember as a kid forever. And this is going to be one of those games that people are going to be talking about forever. What's it like being right in the smack dab middle of a game like that?
Oh, it's awesome. I mean, one of our assistant coaches, Coach Fenn, he talked about it middle of the week. This is just a game that you have a chance to leave your legacy in, and as a team, just play for one another. And it was awesome to be out there, and that was a legendary night in our stadium. I mean, Griz Nation is the best. That was so much fun, and just super excited about everything. I mean, I can't even put it into words.
Junior and Keelan, kind of along the same lines as that, and then just knowing that you make big plays in a game like this, it's always going to be remembered. Like, what's that like, being able to come through for your team like that?
Yeah, Coach Braxton has talked about it. Coach Fenn talked about it as well. Just leaving your mark on games like these. He went and talked about all like our semifinal games and guys who left big marks on that game, and we just wanted to take it upon ourselves to potentially make plays in that game as well. And, fortunately, that's what we did.
It's just a blessing, man. Me coming in, I came in as a walk-on in 2019, and I never thought I'd be in a spot like this now. And just to be here now is I just feel blessed.
Braxton, could you touch on how you guys were able to buckle down in the red zone? You hold them to 3 field goals in regulation, and each one of those was crucial to be able to get the game to overtime.
Yeah, I would say credit to just everyone on the defense doing their job. Playing tough, hard-nosed football. A lot of times, you got to win your one-on-one. There's guys blocking you, so just getting off blocks and doing your job and trusting that the guy next to you is going to do their job. And we understood that we had to buckle down, and we were able to do that.
You guys got a lot of pressure on some third downs too to force them to punt. So how were you guys able to do that?
Yeah, Coach Bradford called some pressures on those third downs, and a couple times I think guys made good plays, either beat someone one-on-one or a guy was able to come free. And then, credit to our secondary for staying back there in man coverage. And, yeah, we were able to get to Miller a few times.
Bobby, Eli Gilman had been bottled up a bit last week and just 24 rush yards in regulation, but he carries the ball 3 times for 25 yards and that touchdown in the second overtime. So you could just touch on having the trust in him to go out there and what it was like to see him get you guys into the end zone.
Yeah, Eli and Nick in particular run really hard. We have complete trust in our guys, including those guys. I mean, we're going to do what we do. The other side's good and they're trying hard too. And again, those were good hard runs. It was there sometimes for us, and then it wasn't. Part of that's us, part of that's North Dakota State. But obviously proud of those guys for finding a way to win that game.
When you look at the playoff run, I just want to get your thoughts on. You guys go through Delaware, Furman, and North Dakota State, some teams that are well known in the FCS that have a history of postseason successes. What do you think of that element of going through some well-known, well-thought-of teams on this run to the championship game?
Well, I'll start from this game. I mean, you don't get to, these guys were talking about how we approached it. I mean, you don't get to the Final Four teams in the nation without it being a really quality team on each side of the field. And then, in the other games, we're playing teams that are really proud, traditionally strong programs, have a lot of victories in the history of their programs. Delaware's been playing football a long time. Furman as well. And the Furman team was a great football team. It was a huge win to get them. And then, obviously, you step it up another notch and play these guys. And I don't know. It's a blur right now. It was a hell of a win, though.
When you made the championship game the 3 prior times, the game was the next week, but now you have a couple weeks off. So just your thoughts on having that time off, any benefits to that and any drawbacks if you'd rather play the next week?
No, absolutely not. There's no drawback to it. It was kind of an unfair disadvantage for us the last time around because they moved the game, and it was generally on Friday night. We would have to, on the 08, we had to fly the East Coast, fly back, get stopped off for weather or something in Minneapolis. We'd get back. We would practice for a day. We'd practice Tuesday morning in the snow here and then have to fly out Tuesday afternoon. Meanwhile, we'd play teams from the East Coast that were busing in there generally and getting an extra day of work. We never practiced for those games. It was logistically a nightmare. So this is great for us. We get to practice. We get to treat. We get to lift. We get a couple days off for Christmas. So this is an outstanding setup for us.
And if you got to watch South Dakota State yesterday or seen them on crossover on film at all, any initial thoughts on playing them?
Nope, have not. I know they're good. They won last night, huh?
Coach, I brought this up last week. You've been in a lot of these type of games, it seems like.
That's why I look like I'm 105.
Did you feel a little more relaxed going into this game, this overtime?
Oh, hell no. Relaxed. It's an act. I am not relaxed. Not at all. And like I said last week, I said, overtime is gut-wrenching. What does that make double overtime? Horrible. It's just... Like he said, nobody loves overtime. We want to win. It's hard. We want to win by 50 in regulation. So anyway, I'm having a blast. Obviously, this group of people likes and loves each other. They play hard for each other. It's a privilege to be their coach, and that's where I'm enjoying it. But relaxed, probably not.
And I know that we've already touched on Junior's kick return, but after he scored and I had my camera on you, the look on your face just kind of seemed like. Can you just talk about that?
Yeah, I mean, it's, what's going on in my head is probably, I'll be damned, we did it again. It's just, we find ways to win, and that's a big play in the game, maybe the play in the game. And I'll go back to a year ago. That's how we beat Southeast Missouri. We were down 21-0. We scored 31 straight. 2 of them were returns. And then last week, we were struggling against what I think is a great defense, and we returned 2 kicks for touchdowns. And that's a lot for the guys on the other side to overcome. And then, we blocked a punt in the first quarter, and they had a false start on it. That would have been a huge play in the game. So, we thought we had some plays, and I guess that's my long-winded way of saying, I'll be damned, we did it again.
I just had one question for Bobby. I thought I saw after the first overtime you approached the official and just to remind him that you were going down to the other end zone there. Can you just talk, I know you've had special moments in both end zones, but can you talk about what those fans mean in that north end zone here?
Well, I think it's a little louder in the north end. And so in overtime, whoever wins coin toss in the first one, they get to choose. They can choose end of the field or offense or defense. And traditional wisdom would be to choose defense, and then the other team gets to choose the end of the field. And so in the second overtime, North Dakota State chose to go on defense first, as they should. And the officials were going to place the ball on the 25 in the south end. I reminded them that we got to choose our end of the field.
Junior, you're a Montana guy, obviously. Just can you describe what these last 2 weeks have been like, just coming to plays like that, living in the moment? Just, what's that been like from your perspective and just being part of that and being part of history, really?
It's been very special. You walk up that tunnel and you see guys who've made big impacts on this program, and, you just want to leave your mark. And I'm super blessed for this team, these coaches. They believe in me, and they push me to be better each and every day, and I appreciate them for that.
Keelan, you touched on it too. Obviously, being a walk-on, one of these guys who's kind of built a career like this. Just how are you kind of soaking in this moment? Just what it's been like to watch the season you've had, but also accumulate into one more game and getting a chance to play for a national championship.
Yeah, it's great. Just like he said, seeing the guys that have been here before me, and just being able to put my head down and work the way I have been and create this situation for myself. It's been awesome. So.
Similar question for you as well, Braxton. Just another walk-on guy, worked hard to get to where you're at right now. Local guy, Montana guy. Just for you, each week is, extending your senior year a little bit. So how are you kind of soaking up this moment? What's it mean to you to send the Montana Grizzlies to the national championship?
Yeah, it means everything, I just want more time with the guys in the locker room and the coaches. I mean, from Monday meetings to lifts to practice to anything and everything, we just every day we just soak it up, and I just don't want it to end. So that's why we play so hard. We play that hard for one another, and it's special, and I'm just so glad that we have another couple weeks together, and we're going to cherish each and every day.
Coach, your perspective from when the 2-point conversion was no good and you guys win the game, I mean, what's going through your mind when you're going to the national championship game?
Well, it was we didn't have a timeout left, or we'd have called it there and told them what to expect, but our guys were pretty dialed in. It was a play we actually somewhat expected. That's why it looked the way it did. It's something we saw him do a year ago. I mean, it goes back to mid-season last year, I think. And our coaches did a good job of keeping that in their memory banks, and our players knew that they lined up that way, that's probably what we were getting. and we did. And so I thought we had a chance to stop it because we kind of suspected that's what they would do. And obviously then when you win, I appreciate Brandon picking me up. I flopped on the ground like I dropped dead. Thank goodness you didn't have to do CPR or nothing, but that's exciting. I mean, golly, everybody was pretty excited. It's fun. I mean, let's say this. That game, winning that game brings great joy to everybody on our team and staff, but it also, Grizzly football brings a lot of joy and happiness to a lot of people in Montana and in our alumni base. And Grizzly football is special, and that was a special game. Can I wrap it with that?
Thanks, everybody.
All right, go Griz. Thank you all.
Town Pump's Pump It Up Rewards Plus program and never pay full price for fuel again.
Save 5 cents on every gallon every day at any town pump across Montana.
Plus, earn and redeem points on your favorite in-store items to get free stuff with our clubs.
Stop in and pick up a rewards card. Download the Pump It Up Rewards Plus app today.
Or visit townpump.com/rewards to register and start saving.
Right down the road. Pump it up. Oh, yeah.
Last play, just the play call up. Yeah, I just haven't done a 2-point play all season. Just can you take us through that?
Yeah, we had practiced it, I think Thursday. We always have 2 or 3 that we bring with us, and I thought, and just from my view, I thought, not to make excuses, I thought he got grabbed, but we just needed to execute better during the entire game and not leave it up to chance.
Jake, can you describe how this team hung in there after 3 straight weeks on the road?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, it's 2023. I mean, our planes be flying. It's not like we're taking a bus anywhere, but, you know, hats off to Coach Kramer and our strength and conditioning program. You know, I think these guys could test that my legs feel just as fine as day 2 of fall camp. So, you know, we do a great job strength and conditioning. But, yeah, I mean, getting to go on the road for 3 games, you know, how close this group is, you know, how close we've gotten over these last, 4 weeks of the playoffs. You know, it's been special. And, I mean, this was an unbelievable environment tonight. I mean, I couldn't, you never want your career to end, but, it's a little bit easier knowing, like, this will be my last memory of college football.
Cam, I guess, just playing quarterback, but just kind of going off what Jake said, just playing in this atmosphere in an overtime game like this, just kind of your biggest takeaway.
We knew it was going to be loud. We had played in some pretty big venues, UND, South Dakota State, Bozeman, and it was definitely the loudest, but I thought we handled it pretty well. There were some 3rd and shorts that we wish we could have back, and that's on me. They were stunting up front, and we should have used a different cadence to eliminate that, but it was extremely loud. I know the tackles were having a hard time hearing me, but I thought for the most part we had confidence, and we stayed composed the entire time.
Eli, describe that last drive, the regulation to tie the game.
I mean, that's something that we prepare for every week. One day a week at practice we'll go through our 4-minute scenario, 2-minute, just with noise, under pressure situations where we have the clock on. So that's something that, we're certainly used to, and that wasn't new for us. Having all that noise definitely makes it more real. But, we went out there and executed just like we do at practice every week, and I thought we did a great job.
Cam, how long have you been sitting on that Steindorf fake? Is that something you've been waiting for all year?
I hadn't really been paying attention to any of the special teams, so I didn't know it was going to happen until like a second before it got snapped. Somebody told me it was going to be a fake, so that was pretty exciting. Worked out and ended up scoring.
Jake, what do you think it says about this group that you were able to fight to not one but two overtimes and, you know, come back from being down some pretty big situations early? What does it say about this group?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's there's no consolation prize for it. Like, we're pretty upset. Like, we expect to be playing in national championships every year, but you know, just, you know, you guys, I don't know, very many people thought we'd be here. I mean, we all thought that, we all knew that, but I'm just extremely proud of the guys, proud of the coaching staff, administration, just everyone coming together, staying behind us, believing in us. Like Coach Entz, you know, our word was, you know, believe this season. And, you know, there's some days, obviously, probably even in the locker room, some of the guys are like, oh, like, are we good enough to do this? Are we good enough to do this? And just kind of, you know, keep working, and get to this point. I mean, it's been an unbelievable ride. You know, it sucks that it had to end this way. Hats off to Montana. They're a hell of a team that did a good job today. But, yeah, you know, it's tough.
Yeah, overtimes are so rare in college football. You played 2 in 3 weeks. So did the last one prepare you? Like, did you have easier procedures and stuff in these two?
Yeah, I had never played in an overtime before prior to the Montana State game, but I thought guys were extremely composed, and, you know, it just felt like on the sideline we had been there before, which we had 2 weeks ago. So guys didn't flinch at all, and we went out, and I thought we executed well. There was just a few plays we just needed to have back.
Can you talk about your run game today? They're a great run defense. You guys ran the ball well, especially between the tackles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I knew that we were going to be able to run the ball efficiently, and I thought we did that for the entire game. Like I said, we got in 3rd and short, and I feel like the impact of the crowd noise kind of affected us a little bit, but at the same time, we had practiced all week with a loud environment. You know, we cranked music, you know, sound. So, yeah, it was just frustrating.
Cam, what do you think happens tomorrow with this team going forward? You know, we still don't have a head coach. Describe, I guess, where it goes from here.
This is one of the closest group of men that I've ever played with on any team, any sport, doesn't matter. Coach Roll said yesterday in our unit meeting, he said this is the closest unit that I have seen in 16 years. So each other have, you know, we each have each other's backs, and, you know, I feel like we would die for one another. And we just got so close throughout the adverse situations that we had been in throughout the entire year, and it just made us love one another even more.
Congratulations to Coach Hauck in Montana. I've said it before, I got tremendous respect for him. He's one of my good friends in the coaching profession, a guy that I've leaned on a little bit through my 5 years of being a head coach. So I've played here. This is my 3rd time that I've been able to coach here, and it was as electric as it's ever been. And so couldn't be more excited for Missoula and the fan base, way they show up and get involved was pretty unique, and caused us some issues at times tonight for sure. If you'd have told me going into this that we gave up 16 points in regulation and didn't win, I would have thought you were crazy. Thought we had a good plan defensively. We knew that their quarterback was going to be kind of where things operated through, quarterback run game, his ability to create and buy time with his feet. Made us nervous all week. We got pressure on him. We were able to get turned loose a little bit and stop the run game. You can't settle for field goals as much as we did early in the game, and that was frustrating. And take nothing away from Montana's defense. They were really good in the red zone, and they were better than us offensively in the red zone. But, you know, for us to kick 3 field goals, you know, if we could have turned a couple of those into touchdowns, it could have been a different outcome. But again, two great programs playing, and bittersweet.
Matt, the play call, the 2-point play, can you take us through that?
Yeah, it's something that we've practiced. I mean, you know, most teams have, you know, 2-3 2-point plays, and again, trying a little misdirection, trying to find ways to be creative on the 2-point play because you need it. Something that they've never seen, we've never shown. That's when you pull those things out, especially when you're on the road and you're in a hostile environment. You gotta have those plays ready to go.
At one point, you guys were outgaining them pretty defensively, but we're still down on the scoreboard. What do you think was the biggest struggle there as far as getting points?
Well, I think there's two things. One, and I already commented on the caliber of red zone defense that they were playing, but I don't have any stats in front of me, and I don't, how many 3rd and shorts turned into 3rd and longs because of a false start. And that was frustrating. I mean, we talked all week that we wanted to be in 3rd and short, 3rd and manageable, because there was probably even a few of them today where, hey, if it's 4th and 1, we might have gone for it. But all of a sudden, when it's 3rd and 8, you yank the playbook right out of Coach Roll's, play calling ability. I mean, the play card becomes obsolete. I mean, what was there, that 3rd and 22 today? I mean, there are no plays. There are no calls. You got to, all of a sudden now it becomes conservative and let's make sure we punt and don't turn it over and try to force the ball. And, their crowd had a huge impact and they're stemming up front along with the crowd noise, I think impacted our guys. And this is something that we showed them all week long again, but at practice, you cannot emulate the stress and the pressure that these guys feel, at game time.
FCS playoffs, teams on the road 3 straight weeks, usually wear out. It's proven to wear out. Do you guys feel like you bucked that trend?
Of wearing out? Yeah. No, we didn't wear out. We got beat today. We didn't wear out. Wearing out would have been, when we're down, folding and giving in and patting each other on the back rather than trying to go find a way to win.
Throughout the game, you did a good job keeping away from Bergen, but you got one chance. I mean, just describe how hard it is to not get.
It is. We miss tackles, and they do a great job. I know Coach Hauck is their special teams coordinator, and he does a great job. He's confident. They're confident. When you have a kid like that with that capabilities and talent back there, it's amazing how hard the other 10 kids play on that unit. And again, like I said, if you'd have told me we gave up 16 points in regulation and didn't win, I would have thought you were joking.
How did you kids handle this week overall?
Like champs, just like Bison.
What did you tell the team in the locker room after the game?
Excuse me?
What did you tell the team in the locker room?
I haven't had a chance. You guys were, I guess, my priority tonight, so I have not had a chance to talk to the team. So I'm sure they're down there waiting for me right now.
Coach, the defensive game plan, you mentioned trying to contain Montana's quarterback. What specifically did you do? You seemed like you had him crossed up.
Well, I think we did some things on the perimeter, changed up how we played our defensive end. We mesh charged him a handful of times. We knew just from watching them that they had turned some people loose during the year. I think they'd given up nearly 100 TFLs over the season and felt like we could take it, felt like we had kind of ascended in that position. Struggled early at the D-line and have grown immensely with Coach Gazer and Coach Phelps, and felt like that could be an advantage for us at times. And I thought it was. I thought we made him get off his spot. We got to his toes, made him kind of scramble away from his arm at different times. And I thought we had a good game plan to keep him in check. We knew, you go back and look at last week's game, you look at the Montana State game, when he's rolling and he's confident, and he had some of that early in the game, but we were able to kind of, reel things back in and keep him under control.
Coach, Cam Miller said it's one of the closest teams he's played on. Just your emotion now. You're like,
yeah, I'm trying to avoid that right now. Probably this is probably the one time I'll sit and talk to you guys as long as I can. It's been a unique year in a positive way. The word special, the word different comes out a lot. We got a locker room full of champions in my mind. The word love gets used a lot in our locker room and team room, so you can tell it's hard, but I'm excited for what's next. And this NDSU is going to be they're in a good spot. There's a good infrastructure. There's the right people. They'll be the right people. And everyone knows what the standard is, and I think we played to the standard. I know our fan base has expectations, and expectations are lousy. They're false. They don't exist. When we were 5-3, 6-3, we said, what's the standard look like, and that's what we're going to try to play to. And I think we did a good job of getting there. Do I wish we'd have won a couple more games? Hell yeah, but I'm not apologetic for the standard.
This playoff run, not like anything we've seen in the past decade.
Nope.
Just kind of your thoughts on your final thoughts on this these past 4 games.
When we were after South Dakota State, or even after UND probably, kind of took a long, sat down and kind of looked at myself, looked at what we need to do, and said, we're just going to do what we're good at, and let's simplify game plan. Let's practice, and let's attack our process as well as we can, and let's mitigate any issues, and let's not make a whole bunch of knee-jerk reactions, because that'd have been easy to do when you're 5-3 or whatever. We were 4-2 at the time, and got whipped. We just, the secret's in the dirt, and we went back to work. Maybe that's what a farm kid from Iowa, that's the only thing I know how to do well. So I appreciate it. Thank you, and go Bison.